we're joining this game not right at the beginning, but we've just come out of the countdown and I get all of my wood, which I end up crafting really slowly. I think this was actually the first game I played after I switched up my hotkeys. It was also quite late at the time of recording, so I'm not going to be playing the best, but I've already got my wooden axe before this guy's mined up any of his wood, really. And I head straight to spawn because I know that that's where the kills are going to be, that's where people are going to fight, and it's also going to be where the not the best players are going to be, because they're still going to be looting. I go straight for this guy who I think should be low because of how many things have been attacking him. He ends up bowing me, he's at 14. I know one crit and one slightly well-timed hit is going to be there enough to kill him. I'm just checking tab to see what he's on, and then I wasn't really expecting it, but he turned round, and then I turned round slowly. I missed the crit there. If I got it, it would have been really nice, but you don't always get what you want. Anyway, so he's still chasing him. He stops sprint jumping for a second, and I see he's at 4. I know I just need to hit him once. Even if it's not a powerful hit, even if it's just me tapping him, it'll be enough. I see this guy, Swiffy, he comes around the corner, he's just hitting people with his fist. I really do not want this guy to get away though, because I've been chasing him for so long. So I end up boosting Swiffy into him, who gets the kill. He was very happy with it, and he said thank you in the chat, which was nice. But Swiffy's going to be important later on. Anyway, at the moment we're going down into the cave. We have got a miner kit this game. I think about getting the iron, but decide not to. I'm trying not to use miner kit because it's not the best to use, because the odds of you getting a double drop isn't the best, and you only use your pickaxe that you get started off with for a few minutes before you switch over to the smelter's pick, so it's not the best to use. But I mine up all my gold that I just found, and I also make sure to check under the lava in case there are any diamonds hidden, because as well as the fact that not many people check under there, you will also get bigger veins because they're not exposed to air. I get this diamond, there's this other guy contesting me for them, but then I realise that he does not have a iron pickaxe or a smelter's pick. I reckon that there was only going to be one more diamond there, but there was another one, which I quickly mined, so I've got 6 diamonds, and I have to make 2 diamond swords and my enchantment table. Here you can see me making my enchantment table. Just need to get my obsidian made, which is a special craft you can do in hoplite. It's 5 minutes to PvP and I'm already basically set up for it. I've nearly got enough iron. I preferably would have more because it takes about 19 to... well, it does take 19 to make full iron armor, and then in the hoplite there's a special craft for an anvil, so it costs less iron. You need about 17 as well, I think. 16 in fact. All of my sugarcane fell into the water, which was quite annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I still ended up going and getting it. And I go to get some cows for leather. I end up just hitting them with my smelter's pickaxe, because although I do have an axe, I want to also cook the food in case I need to use it later on if I'm running low on hunger, because although it does have a very good saturation in this game mode, you still run out of saturation, but it's a lot slower. I accidentally get rid of the book whilst I'm trying to craft my enchantment table, but it's an easy fix. I also then make my enchantment table and 2 diamond swords. This ups my chances of getting a sharpness 2, although your first diamond sword and second, so your first, there's a funny thing with enchanting if you don't log off. Your first enchantment on a diamond sword will always be a sharpness, and then on your book it will always be, if it's the first book you do right after you've enchanted your sword. So that's something to keep in mind if you are trying to get a sharp 2 and you have a spare book. I've got 2 diamond swords, Probably could have gone off with the 1, but it's okay. I end up getting a bit more leather, and I just want a few levels because I need them. I need to be at least level 2 to get my sharp 2. PvP's not too long. I used the book there instead of the sword in case another guy's a sharp 1 diamond sword, then I had a choice of which sword I want to use. That wasn't really what I was thinking of. I just wanted to use whichever one was in my hotbar. I go to make both of my light apples, but as I'm making them, I take ages to actually put them in the right slot, and I get jumped. It is a bot though. It's funny head movement and clean iron sword. Big denotions of being a bot. You can easily combo them as well if you know what you're doing. But I did take more damage than was needed, and he did end up getting stuck on a block whilst he was running. He didn't have much good stuff, but I turned his head straight into a G-head. No, I don't. I took it out because I forgot that I still hadn't made both of my gaps. So I go and do that now instead. I also go along the coast to get more sugarcane, which will allow me to make more books to have better enchants. Bots have a lot of useless stuff, apart from the fact that they have tons of leather. I go back to make both of my light apples, which are basically exactly the same as golden apple. They're just a bit cheaper to cost. You can only make 2 of them though in a hoplite game. Then you've got to go back to the full 8 gold per golden apple. I end up enchanting some more books, but I don't think I get anything too useful out of them. I make one more book because that's all I got sugarcane wise, so I can only make enough paper. I also only make 1 golden ingot. That's because if I need to loot sweep, I can, and I'll pick up the nuggets and the gold ingots. I see a guy through the hill. His name tag is just poking out. I don't know what he's got, but I don't think it can be much better than mine. I go straight in for him. It's clean, and he has the chainsword. I see he's at 12. I have to land all of these clutches, if not I'm going to be in trouble. I probably should have eaten the head for speed, so I could have caught up to him a bit quicker. He places the water, which makes this fight really awkward. He curses me with the bleeding effect, and then he gets a few hits on me. I do end up eating the head, and then I get the kill. This is the chainsword match this is the match that I get the chainsword. This is probably the most overpowered sword because it has a bleed effect, which does 4 hearts of true damage, and you also get 50% stronger attacks when the person you're fighting is below 10 hearts. I just checked that there was nobody coming down, and then I go to loot all of his stuff. I don't need the sugarcane because I don't think that I'm going to make any more enchantments with the books. I do just end up turning all of my gold into ingots, and then I realised I didn't pick up the head, and I wanted to make another G-head. Well, my first G-head. So you also have the lodestone, which is a rare material because you can only get it with there's only 1 in the map. So it's very good that I have it. Nobody else can make golden hammer unless I do, then they kill me. But I see on the way up that there is a guy on top of me. I pre-gap because I'm quite low and I just want the regen. Still got my G-head if things go south, but I realise after I've been crouching and shifting, the reason why he's lingering there is because he's seen my name tag, so I might as well just go all the way up without shifting. I didn't really think that in the moment though, and then I realised I broke this 1 block which made him jump down into me, and I was cursing with the bleeding effect. This guy was at full HP, I G-head. This fight could have been so much cleaner, but it ended up being quite messy. He has diamond boots, which is something I want. He also has a clean iron sword, but my PvP here is absolutely terrible. And then he somehow gets away here. I also accidentally put my water into that leaf, but luckily I always have 2 bits of water in my hotbar. That was some terrible parkour from me there. I get a nice hit there, but then he hits me into his lava. He got way too many free hits then, and I get the kill. He doesn't have any gaps, but he does have his head. Looking back at this, I could have made the golem hammer, if I hadn't chucked that out, I could have made the diamond axe. And that's all you need for golem hammer. 2 iron blocks, a lodestone and iron diamond axe, I think. I might be wrong, I might be missing something, but I could have made it in this game. I make a crafting table so that I can turn all of my nuggets into gold again, because I know I make exactly, I made 9, I thought I'd make 8, but I need a G head because 1 gap is not going to cover my health. I know that there's not going to be really much of a recovery from this, unless I get a kill without taking any damage, and they have tons of gaps, and I don't have to use my G head. I realised that the chainsword is actually still unenchanted, so that is something that I want to do immediately, enchant it, which gives me a better opportunity at winning the game. I get protection on my diamond legs, and get a sharp one, but which I'm going to put straight onto my chainsword, so my chainsword is now a sharp 2. I also go to enchant my diamond boots, but they only have projectile protection. I put it on straight away because shiny stuff makes you look more stacked. I'm just checking his loot over here when I think that I see something that I want. I don't remember what it was, but I think that I see something that I want. This guy sneaks over the hill though. He has a fire sword and beehive blaster, which is my nemesis. I've died so many times with good stuff to a guy with beehive blaster. He's basically at full. Should have just carried on fighting him. I could have dropped him before the poison kicked him. He also has a vocal wand, which is not very good for me, because if he hit me with that, I'd have been dead. He also hits me one more time with his bow. I'm at half a heart. It's not very good. But luckily my terrain nav is something that I've been able to work on because I've been chased so much. I run away to the water, and I don't think they're following me anymore, but I keep on running away just in case he is. I get up on here. There's not really much point in me running because if I'm at half a heart, there's not really going to be much I can do to win this game unless I get something crazy in a chest or something. Still going this way, it's right next to the border. I can tell that I've escaped him because the guy said bro in chat, and that's the same guy that was fighting me. I go this way because I know that there was a mushroom biome over here, and I don't get them right away, but I realise that I can make a suspicious stew, which requires red mushroom, a brown mushroom, and make sure to get lots of these each, and an oxide daisy, and that's all I'm going to need left to make a suspicious stew of regeneration. I go this way because I saw that there are a few oxide daisies over the hill. It helps when you've learned Minecraft flowers. I also go down into this cave to get some iron, because the only other way I'll be able to heal is if I get some gold by mining, and that's what I'm planning on to do later on. I get the oxide daisies. I make sure that I don't take any damage. That's why I do not risk water bucket clutching. I just go down in that water there. I go to make the suspicious stews. I make 12 bowls. I think that was a bit much, but I didn't realise that each craft gave you 4. I end up trying to make it, and that's when I realised that the making of suspicious stew is not actually possible in hoplite. What I should have done is actually got over to a mushroom cow and then just used the bowl on it, and then you can get suspicious stew that way. But I didn't think about that in the moment. I also go down into this cave, which gives me the coal to make my smelter's pickaxe, which I'm going to go down to get some gold. And even if I just make 1 gap, that's enough for me to go back up and start fighting. DM's in 20 minutes, and there are 10 players left. I see that there's a deep dark, get happy, and I fall out of my water stream. And that's how I died with the chainsword. It's quite annoying, but it's just how I played.